Focus on bringing people in.
Well, we're here now.
Last 20. Yeah, length it out. Pound it.
Wait, pretty solid contact.
How do I make my legs look bigger?
Strong hair for betting shirts.
Get excited.
A lot of minutes by a lot of times.
Eyes up. Chins up.
And much faster.
Keeping the team together.
Keep on. Right.
It was pretty good. It was pretty hard. Big congrats to the guys. Actually, it was so hard. Yep, and it back to nose. It's going to be so much better.
I'm your host, Christian Dawson, fourth year rower at Florida Tech and co-captain. This is our first episode of the Redliner Experience, and I would personally like to welcome you. You, the fans, most likely my mother, hopefully other mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters, and possibly alumni and other members of my team. Welcome to the Redliner Experience. I had this idea of the podcast recently as I was trying to think of ways to show the culture of the team and its history in a sort of town center kind of way that we lack in this digital age. I want a place where culture can come to surface and for guys to get to know each other on a more personal level, for families to understand this new family that their kid is involved with, and for alumni to still feel like connected to the program. Today, I am starting the segment of Meet the Team with one of my best friends, Baylor Chamberlin. Now, Baylor, I met 3 years ago. I was living in a dorm called Chala, and one of our apartment complexes on campus called Columbia Village. And he came as a recruit and stayed on a little itty bitty twin size airbed. So, welcome to the experience, Baylor.
Thank you for having me.
Love
to be on here.
It's a pleasure. So we met 3 years ago. Now teammates for 2 years, going on 3. First of all, how's it going, Baylor?
It's going pretty well. Having a good day. You know, it's a Friday, so I'm
Saturday.
I keep forgetting the days of the week because I skipped this Friday. I only had one class. Professor's canceled, so.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So we had practice this morning on the IRL, and it was hot.
One of the hotter days this year for sure.
It was a barnstormer.
It's crazy because it's actually fall now.
It is, but it's never really any season but summer here, except for like the 3 days in February when it gets frigid. It's always summer.
That's what I love about Florida. It's one of the big reasons I came down here. I love the heat.
So you are from Annapolis, Maryland.
That's right.
Is that where you started rowing?
Yes, it is. I started rowing with Annapolis Junior Rowing there. I actually came to rowing because I had a really serious snowboarding accident. And before then, I had been playing football and lacrosse, but I joined the rowing team after not being able to play contact sports anymore. And I've really, really enjoyed it. And I started rowing there, and I really liked the team, and I really liked the coaches, and I had an awesome experience that eventually led me here.
It seems to be like a pretty common way that people join rowing. Either that, or they just don't know their left hand from their right.
Definitely. We have a few of those on our team for sure.
Yeah.
Won't call anybody out.
That's me. No, I played a lot of sports too. I played almost all the sports that are on TV. Not that I was ever on TV, but I played soccer for 9 years and football for 5, baseball for a couple, basketball, track, you name it.
You did it all?
I was playing it. But I started growing really quickly in middle school, and I had really bad growing pains come like freshman year of high school. I was like 5'2", in 6th grade and like 6'2" in 9th grade.
Wow.
That's the first year of high school. So I just went up so quick and nothing could keep up, and all the high impact sports I just could not handle anymore. And it was just brutal. And by the way, listeners, like Baylor and I know a lot of these things about each other. I'm just trying to
Give you guys a little background on who we are.
give a little background.
Right.
So when you joined rowing, do you remember your first day?
I do remember my first day. I did a learn to row camp.
All right,
over-
first of all, how'd you get sucked into the Learn to Row camp?
I had a buddy who I went to a Young Life camp with. I don't know if you've heard of Young Life. It's a Christian organization, actually, and it's in high schools, and they do wildlife for middle schools. And basically, I had gone to a summer camp at one of those and really enjoyed it there. And one of the guys I met there was a rower, and it was my first summer where I was actually even able to do anything after my accident, because I was very seriously confined to, the bed and the couch for a while afterwards with some back surgeries. And he told me about rowing and told me the camp was going on, and I wasn't very interested at all, but I went, and I remember that first day because I remember my butt hurting so much afterwards, and I felt terrible. And one of the coaches there told me, she was like, I think you have some really great potential. I think you could be a really essential part of our team, because at the time they really didn't have a lot of guys that were very good, I guess, or
Athletic.
athletic. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing in high school rowing. They get people on that are athletic and they teach them to row. Mm-hmm. So that's what they did with me. They pulled me in, they gave me all those compliments, and I was like, all right, something I can be good at again. And I saw it as a scholarship opportunity as well, so that worked out for me.
Yeah, that's kind of snagged me too. First of all, you're like put in this circumstance where it's limited what you can do. And then secondly, you show up somehow. Like somehow you show up to rowing.
Right.
And then somebody's like, hey, you got some potential. And then the very next thing I asked was, what are my chances of getting a college scholarship through this?
Definitely. That was always something I thought about. I was really worried about having that after not being able to play lacrosse, and that's what I was banking on for a really long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I like always wanted to be a football player in college. And
I can't imagine that. That's wild.
yeah, no, it's different. I wonder what it'd be like if I went down that road. I definitely I think part of that like pressure, I saw my parents go through the recession, and you're coming of age at that time, like you're similar age, but a couple years younger than me.
Right.
And my dad's in construction too, so it looked like it took the legs out of the economy, and I felt like this responsibility, like, ooh, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do for college if I want to do it. And neither of my parents had gone to college either, so it really helped me to have an area where, like, something was guiding me through the process. Like, the coaches in college were like, hey, you should apply right about now. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known what to do.
Yeah. I had a lot of people backing me on wanting me to go to college, but not a lot of people who had the means or want to support me. So that was an issue I came up with when I was interested in going to college. But, support came through, and I definitely have had some help along the way from a lot of people, and rowing has been huge for me. And going along with that, on having something to push you along through rowing, like, my school career has not been incredible here. My freshman year, I did pretty poorly in my classes coming in because I had been doing well in high school, and the kind of standard here was raised a lot from high school, and I didn't see that coming. And when I got here, I had a lot of trouble with that, but through the athletic support they have here and the library hours they made me get and suggestions they gave me, I ended up changing my major and finding a new thing that I like so much better. And like the strict schedule of rowing has really helped me to be able to keep up with everything I have to do. It keeps me going. Like, yeah. I know I have to be here then, and having that rigid schedule really helps me get things done.
Yeah, I definitely think like if somebody has a problem like planning something, it seems counterintuitive, but like add a little bit more to your plate.
Yeah.
And then you have less time to slack off, and you're able, I think better to understand what your priorities are, what you need to do first, yada yada. And having something like rowing, so important in your life that it's such a skeleton for the rest of it.
Definitely. One of my high school coaches, his big thing was always saying, like, you never see a rower who continues rowing, does it through college, and is always a hard worker at it. You never see those people failing in life. They always succeed. They find something because they know that schedule, that discipline, everything you have to do is hard work. That's what you learn.
Yeah, definitely. There's like this idea that I had when I was applying to colleges. All I wrote about in my essays was rowing.
Oh, me too. I did the same thing. Yeah.
I was like, listen, here's what I've done in the 4 years that I've gone to high school. Like we had this crazy program in high school where we were practicing like 12 times a week in the spring semester and at least like 7 times a week in the fall semester.
It's
and then
hardcore.
through summer and stuff. And dude, we even did like marathons on Christmas Eve.
My gosh.
Which is,
I've
for
never
those
done
that
a
don't
marathon.
know, it's 42,000 meters, and I want to say it's about like 3 hours long. I don't know. I went so slow when I did mine.
Definitely.
I think I was like 16 the first time I did it, and I was just like, I'm just gonna do it to say I did it. I'm not gonna go for any time. So I went like 2:25.
Wow. Yeah, that's a rough pace right there.
Yeah, that was hard, man. But
Definitely. No, I speaking of writing papers, I would always write them on rowing or on how I made this big comeback from my accident. Because, I mean, I almost died in like 4 ways in one night. It was pretty rough. So, not snowboarding anymore, really. That was kind of my problem. But so coming out of that, when I was applying for colleges, I was writing about that, how I made this like big change in my life into rowing and how I worked so hard at making this difference and how I kept up with everything like in my grades in high school despite all of those issues. And I actually wrote a paper literally due on Thursday for my CIE class, and I wrote on that change. I was like, I talked about how I came back from that accident and, persevered and made it to where I am now, which I'm pretty happy with.
yeah, CIE, that's a creative.
Yeah, creative innovation and entrepreneurship. Right?
Entrepreneurship.
Yeah, the business class. It's one of the first business classes you have to take, but
Right.
since I switched majors and it's only offered in the fall, so I ended up taking it now.
Yeah, I also had to take that because I was a business major starting out here.
Right.
I now of course I'm a humanities major with a focus in philosophy and a minor in communications, which is a step off from this entrepreneurship major that I was doing. But I came in just thinking like, I don't know what I want to do, but if I can be an entrepreneur was such a buzzword when we were coming in here.
And you'll figure something out.
Yeah. You had like figures like Gary Vaynerchuk on YouTube and all that jazz. It got me really excited about business. And then I was like, I don't know anything else. I know rowing and I like studying philosophy and like humanities in the meantime. So I was like, why not just do that full time? So I did the same thing as you. I had to jump ship and switch majors my sophomore year. And I found it was life-changing.
Oh, for me too, definitely. And I think plenty of people do that. And I had this big problem with it. Like there's a stigma surrounding that. And I felt like, jumping down to a business major because business majors at this school aren't considered to be the same level as getting an engineering degree from this school. That's just a fact.
Right. No,
But I'm so much happier and I love doing this. And I'm not going to change to go to a better school for business because I love this school and I love what I'm doing here and I love the team here. Like the rowing team is something that definitely made me want to stay here through changing majors.
Absolutely. Yeah, you walk on and it's like you're 18 years old, out of the house for the first time, and you instantly have a brotherhood with 30 some odd guys.
Yeah, it's an awesome thing.
It is
I don't know how people come to college without that.
so cool. I went on a couple other officials, and I never found that a team was so welcoming to their freshmen as our team was when I walked on.
Yeah, I loved my official here. I had a blast. Came here and it was Parents' Weekend, which is also the homecoming weekend here, and they had the homecoming concert downtown. And as you said earlier, I stayed with you on that little air mattress on the floor, and I think Richie was still sleeping over your house most of the time because he was living off campus. And Yeah, we went down to the concert, and it was awesome. It was a really good time, and you guys were all so friendly and nice, and no one acted like, like I was going to be some new guy that you could bully when I came on the team. There's no culture of that.
I was not.
Yeah.
I used to be freaked out by the idea of hazing.
Oh, definitely.
Dude, I was stirring in my seat, just wondering, like waiting for the day, like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And yeah, nothing ever came that way.
No, there's none of that here. It's funny because my freshman year, when I shaved my hair into a mullet for racing season, all of these teachers were asking me if I was being hazed by the team, and I was like, no, I'm just dumb. I just do
No,
things
he's
like
got a
this.
good personality.
Right.
No, that's sick. Yeah, I also did the mullet thing, like an inspiration
Oh,
of
it's
you.
beautiful.
That was fun.
Right. Yeah, I'm probably going to come back with that season. No promises, but probably going to have that by the end of the season here.
Ooh, stay tuned.
Yeah.
I've thought about it. I don't know if I like the short hair or the long hair, the flow or the bro.
Right. Yeah. So freshman year and sophomore year, I went with mullet in the fall and buzzed it all in the spring, which, I'm not a fan of the buzz cut, but it's the best way to get rid of the terrible mullet. So
Dude,
that's how it went.
You look like John Cena, straight up when you have a
Right,
buzz
right,
cut.
right. Yeah, everybody says that. I kind of like that.
Oh, that's fun stuff, dude. All right, let's talk about some memories. What have been some of your best memories here at the Tech?
Rowing here, I think some of my best memories that I can think of right now is my freshman year when we were doing spring break training down at the canal. And I was in the 3V with, we had Chris on the team. Oh, man, I love Chris. And we were getting out
Chris
there
Fields.
and just, yeah, Chris Field. And I don't know, we didn't get a whole lot done during practice those weeks in our boat because we just had different lineups every day, and we were facing like a lot of changes and tough times on the team with the 3V. The other boats were doing okay, but you guys were pooling when you had people out of town or anything like that. And we were just like goofing around and working our hardest still, to get everything done that we had to get done, and doing rowing for hours, just back and forth, seeing nothing different than the sides of the canal, just the grass, and that's all you see, nothing for miles, and just back and forth on maybe 2 boat lengths of water from side to side. Yeah, those are good memories to me. That's a great time, just burning hot.
Dude, the canal's a cool place. Like, it's so strange for nobody who's ever experienced it, but you get sent out in this rowing show, and this, what is it, like 12K long? 16K?
I think it's closer to like 16K. Yeah.
Nearly 20 kilometers long, and you send out into this canal, which has these 2 like kind of levees on the side,
Right.
and the levees are, how high do you think they're?
Not much higher than 6 feet.
You kidding me?
I don't think so. Somewhere between 6 and 8 feet. That's my guess. What do you think?
Like the hill.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like the big part or like the immediate part against the water?
Oh, I mean like the hills.
The really big hills?
Yeah, because you're
Oh,
down
I don't
in the
know.
ground.
That's high.
It feels like
Yeah,
you're rowing in the ground.
Definitely.
It's like
yeah.
30
I mean,
feet
the
tall.
actual water has like the 6-foot walls next to it,
Right.
and that's like where we launch from. But I don't know. I have no idea. Pretty high.
So you're in this like crack of the earth with 30 feet of hill on each side of you, and you can't see anything else. It's just grass on both sides of you and sky.
It tests you, tests your mind.
Dude, it feels like you're in a state of limbo.
Yeah.
It's like rowing purgatory.
It's like erging, but worse because you don't know what you're pulling. And you're just going forever, and you can't tell how far you've gone. I mean, I can by now, but freshman year, we'd go out there, and I thought we were just rowing for like 3 hours. I had no idea where we were.
Yeah,
and sometimes we did.
I just get lost out there back then. And yeah, it's a wild place.
Yeah, I'm excited to be there next weekend doing some scrimmage action. I love being out there.
A little scrimmage. We're doing that with Stetson and Jacksonville.
I think Jacksonville is still questionable, but definitely Stetson is coming out.
All right, cool.
So we'll get to strut our stuff against them. Maybe pick up some shirts.
Maybe. Yeah, that'd be cool if we did some shirts in the fall.
Definitely.
I don't know if we're gonna do that because it's a scrimmage.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we did in previous years.
So for those of you that don't know about the whole shirt betting thing, what we do in rowing, in men's rowing, is if you beat a team, they come up to you. This is one of the things that I adore about rowing. It just exemplifies the sportsmanship involved. They come up to you with a betting shirt. Sometimes it's the tank that they raced in, and they hand it over to their respective seat in the other boat. Say I'm stroke seat in one boat, and I'll go to the other stroke, and I'll hand them my shirt with my school's logo, stripes, whatever on it, and shake their hands. And sometimes you like get to know the other person,
Do a little meet and greet.
and I think that's really cool. Kind of humanizes the enemy
Definitely.
a little bit, and
Other times
Other
it's
times
just
it's just like-
demoralized. You know,
Yeah,
it's just
it's
you
rough.
shake the hand and walk away. It's a rough time.
yeah, sometimes.
But you know, you pull through and you go over there and you shake their hand. You look them in the eye and you say who you are.
Yeah,
It's a neat thing.
I think it teaches quite a bit about just life in general. I think sports do an excellent job at that.
I agree for sure. And I think rowing is one of the more gentlemanly sports, if I may.
Yeah.
A very structured sport. There's not a lot you can get away with as far as cheating goes. It is just straightforward. Who can pull their boat down this course faster than the other boat?
Well, the analogy that I like quite a bit is that when you're racing, you know, you'd like not to have any of your teammates look over at another boat,
Right.
you know, to rock the boat at all, because what you're doing really only involves you. Like the
Yeah, you can't do
execution.
anything about where they are. It's you rowing as fast as your boat possibly can. It's about you doing the best that you can. It's not about them.
Right. And I mean, maybe you get a little inspiration because your coxswain's like, hey, they're stepping up, or hey, you're walking on them, you're moving away. But all in all, it all comes down to you and the effort that you put into a pursuit and the technique which you dedicate to it, and it's all in your boat. And I think that lays flat across the surface of everything else in life.
Yeah. And about the you in rowing, it's not you. It's your whole boat.
Yeah.
It's you working together with everyone else. You can't pool and win a race if no one else is. It's really like the chain is only as strong as its weakest link, because that's really true in rowing. It's you all need to be committed. You all need to be at the same exact pace, at the same exact timing, doing everything right as much as you possibly can. And that's not even counting what the conditions are, because those are completely variable, especially in the fall when you're starting every 15 seconds. You never know what you're going to face coming down the course.
Definitely. What an allegory.
Interesting.
That's neat. So, Baylor,
Yes, sir.
I think we have also had some good time surfing.
Oh, yes. No doubt about that.
So this isn't something that we do incredibly often, but it is.
I wish it was.
Oh, it'd be so nice. But like,
I wanted to go today, but, you know, waves aren't very good, and 6K on Monday, so saving my energy.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to balance the energy between super fun stuff like that and a sport as demanding as this one.
Yeah.
But that has been so awesome as a part of living in Melbourne. I had this this thing going on freshman year. I actually made a YouTube video about it.
Oh, I have not seen this.
No?
Do you have one about surfing?
Well, no.
Because you told me how
it's-
you would go.
It's called, I think I can say this, the Shit Hits the Fan Fund. So, we'll just call it Hits the Fan Fund.
Right.
Right. So I had this envelope that I was like collecting money in.
Okay.
And
Your own money. You were just putting it away, not
Right.
looking at it, sort of thing? Okay.
Right. And I was like, you know, one of these days I'm going to be able to get out of Melbourne, because I had this infatuation with like getting away and like starting new things. Because like I just got into college, and all of high school I was like, I want to get out of this town. I want to get out of high school.
Now you
go do
finally
new
made a
thing.
change, and you're ready for another. You like it.
Yeah, finally made it to college, and I'm like, what is this place? This isn't good enough. Like, Melbourne? Are you kidding me? like, what a boring little town. It's just all bouncing around in my head. And
Yeah.
then one day I just took a deep breath and looked around. And what a beautiful place we live in, man.
Definitely. Every time a family member or something visits me and they look at it and I take them to the botanical gardens or I take them over to the beach, they're like, how do you go here every day? How do you live in this beautiful weather all the time? Like, there can't be any bad days. They're wrong. But it is beautiful here. It is awesome. I love the botanical gardens, the beach. I mean, it's incredible. Definitely.
That's awesome. So I took this hit the fan fun and I went looking for surfboards.
Yeah.
And I went to Catalyst and I got this used epoxy board. It was a 7.2 fun board.
So that's the board you're still using?
Oh,
Or a
no,
different
no, this must have been a 7.8 or 8.
It was the longer one you had?
It doesn't matter. People
Yeah.
listening don't
No.
surf. But anyway, yeah, it was this longer kind of fun board, mid-range,
Right.
like something kind of easy to learn on. And dude, I just went out every week and like all week. I was just trying to figure out ways to go surf in the meantime. I'd go between class. I'd bring the board to practice.
Oh
and then-
my gosh.
And then I'd drive to the beach with Spencer Soames.
Oh, yeah. I love Spencer.
Oh, dude,
He's an incredible surfer now.
dude, he is a good surfer.
Right. He was the first person who showed me that you can actually stand up on a beater board. And now I can actually surf on it. But before then, I had never seen it. Didn't believe in it.
And he's just an incredible character anyway. I mean, walking on like he did, giving as much dedication
Oh, yeah.
as he did.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
He worked harder than most walk-ons I've ever seen in high school or in college. I mean, he came on the team, and it didn't matter about his personal interests because now he's not on the team. He has a lot on his plate, but he wanted to be the best he could be for his boat, which is an awesome thing.
Yeah, it really is.
But back to your surfing. You bought the surfboard.
Back to the surfing. Bought the surfboard, went out as much as I could. Dude, I'd end up going to classes with sand on my toes and in my board shorts. And oh, my grades are not hot. But but it was such a great experience and such a great example of how you can use our area and in such a positive way.
Definitely.
And we've got extra boards, so like if anybody on the team is listening and wants to go out with us sometime,
Give us a call. I'm
give us
always
a call.
down.
Dude,
We have
yell at
free
us at
time. There's not practice. Yeah, we'll get out there. But yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since we've been out. I actually went out last week when the waves were really choppy and really big, and had a pretty rough time getting smashed down by the waves. But you know, it's a great time to just, even if I'm not catching waves, or even if it's a day when there's no waves at all, it's just such a nice thing to go sit out there and relax and clear your head. And I think that everybody should find something like that, especially when you have a schedule like ours, like in your downtime, instead of just napping, or because that is, I mean, I am so susceptible to just, if I have any free time, just laying down and sleeping a while. I think it's really important to find something that you can get outside or read a book,
interact with.
Yeah.
that doesn't matter. To play.
Definitely, just do something. Yeah,
Yeah, we kind of lose the sense of play because like most of what we do,
free your mind.
most of what we do is for a means to an end, and
Yeah.
and it's important to remind yourself to treat your kind of like inner child, I guess.
I guess
Like,
so,
I don't
yeah.
want to sound too like woo-woo.
It's not like you're
but
meeting a goal. Like, I'm not going surfing to do something. Like, I'm going surfing
To have
because
fun.
I'm going to relax. Yeah, I don't care if I'm not good at surfing. I'm terrible. I know that. I just go out and I sit on my board, and if I stand up on a couple of waves, I'm satisfied. I just, you know, I'm just out there, and I'm sitting, and I'm watching the birds and the dolphins and watching people on the beach. I just, you know, it's really important to relax.
Agreed. You do anything else to relax? I need some ideas.
Napping is definitely something I do to relax a lot, but I think that, you know, I think you should escape that because there's definitely a point where,
Napping can become like toxic.
oh yes, for sure. You know, you miss out on daily tasks. And like earlier today, I took a nap when I should have been folding my laundry, and then I had to fold my laundry in a big rush before I came over here. And but I mean, other things I do to relax, I like to watch movies. I watch them with Becca and some other people in my dorm sometimes, and I like to go on bike rides a lot. Freshman year, I spent a lot of my time biking, and I'd go out to the mountain bike parks, and that ended up with Jim not wanting me to mountain bike anymore after I dislocated my shoulder. But I definitely like going out. But even then, I'm going to the beach. I like riding over to the beach side, staring at the waves for a few minutes, maybe grabbing the subway and heading back home. But I think that's an awesome time. You're a big fixie guy yourself. You like biking, all right?
Dude, I love it. I don't do it enough anymore.
Well, you have the skateboard now too, so.
Yeah, I quit that this summer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Not trying to hurt yourself, I guess.
Yeah, it's my last year, and I've been feeling really bittersweet about it, and I just want to eliminate any risk because I do not want to miss this year.
That makes sense.
I was loving it last year. That was a great outlet for me to get my mind off everything else. That was a great outlet of play. But even then, like I didn't tell anybody on the team that I was doing it because I didn't want to like stir a frenzy because it's like
I didn't even know until we were on our training trip.
Yeah,
out in Oregon.
Yeah, and that's after the school year.
I loved Oregon.
Oregon. Let's move on to Oregon.
Okay.
Oregon was a fantastic time.
Yeah. For those who don't know, that's where we spent our training session before we went to nationals last spring. It was really last summer. It was after school had ended. We headed out to Oregon, I think the Ashland area, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
And wow, I mean, that was a beautiful place to be. We stayed in an awesome place, and we just had a great time and raced out in California. And I'd never even been out west before at all. It was an incredible, completely different thing to me. I'd never seen a snow-capped mountain. I'd seen like fake snow on mountains, but like it was a really cool experience for me.
Yeah, it was amazing. So Baylor and I shared a room there, and Zap.
Yeah.
Right, so we have this.
Zap wasn't even really in our room, I don't think.
He kind of like just started bumming it on, on the pull-out. So Zap, that's his nickname, Gennaro Zapparello. Mm-hmm. He is the Prince of Buna, New Jersey.
That is true. There's a Baylor Day in Buna, New Jersey, by the way.
So his father is the mayor of a town or city.
Yeah, I guess it's a city. Yeah.
We'll give it the benefit of the doubt. We'll call it a city. Yeah. The city of Buna, New Jersey.
It's in South Jersey, right on beachside, supposedly.
So anyway, Zap is a hell of a character. He's an awesome friend of ours and stellar teammate. He started bumming it in there, but we had this awesome setup in Oregon where there's like this jacuzzi tub in the corner of the room.
Oh, you gotta love that after practice.
And a fireplace that could be fed by actual fire that they kept in the wood that they kept in the hallways.
Right. And we taught Zap how to make fires while we were there. He did not know how to make a fire.
Oh, we have a picture of baby's first fire. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, he's from New Jersey. He can't pump his own gas either. It makes sense.
Yeah. You can fist pump though.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, it was a beautiful room, though, and there was like a nice TV above the fireplace, and Christian and I's shared king-sized bed was like just to the side of that, and there was like lazy boy chairs in the room and a full kitchen. We even had a porch. We had a porch with rocking chairs.
Balcony, dude.
Yeah, and it overlooked like some of the most beautiful mountains. That was incredible.
That was just fantastic. I remember one morning, I was the last one to wake up this day, And Zap is like coming, like tapping me on the shoulder like a little kid on Christmas. And Baylor like springs out of bed. Zap's like, it's snowing. And Baylor's like, no way.
Yeah, that was insane. It was almost 70 degrees during the days there.
And we look out on the window, and we see some of the guys starting to emerge from the cabins, and they're like balling up snow on the deck downstairs, and they're starting to pelt each other, and the staff even joined in.
Yeah. One of the guys that was working there, he was literally like outside cleaning off the chairs, and he started grabbing snowballs and throwing them. And so Zap and I, obviously, had to immediately rush out onto the porch and have that vantage point to be throwing balls from.
That was fantastic.
It was barely sprinkling snow, but I guess it's probably been doing it all night.
From the night. And we didn't have much snow on the balcony, but then people would throw it up, and we'd recollect and throw it back down. But that was a beautiful morning. And then we went down to the valley to row that day, and it wasn't snowing down there, but the mountains all around us
that didn't used to be snow-capped
were now snow-capped, and there's this beautiful gray, white, pearlescent fog and snow around all these mountains, and we were doing an atrocious workout. But
I do recall that.
like the two ends of existence met each other.
Yeah, it was, I mean, man, it was so beautiful that day.
So cool.
Yeah. We did some awesome trips while we were there, too, going out and just wandering around on walks, because we had all this time during the day, and we were trying to avoid that, that void of
Sedentary.
existence that you get into when you're napping all the time and just laying around. And, I mean, we had a jacuzzi, we had a TV, we could have just stayed in the room all the time, but, we got out and did things, and I think that was a really awesome thing. I think our team was brought so much closer together as a whole from that trip, because when you share good times together, as well as these, like, I'm not saying the rowing isn't a good time, but they're hard times.
Yeah.
And it's stressful sometimes, and it can, it can weigh on you a lot. And getting out there and doing that just, like, purely fun, like, that was a really awesome thing, having just, like, pure fun time together.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. We also started the Jinx Challenge.
Oh, man, the Jinx Challenge. Yeah, that ended up like a rough patch for me.
Oh, dude. So the Jinx, for all of you, Jinx is when somebody says the same thing at the same time as you, and you must be the first person to say.
Jinx.
And then if you do that to the other person, then they can't talk until you or somebody in the presence of the Jinx says the other person's name.
The first name. I go by Baylor. My first name is Gabriel, which made this an extremely difficult time for me because people don't ever call me Gabriel.
And if you were to break the Jinx, you'd have to do this thing called a Buff Corral challenge. And Baylor, can you explain the Buff Corral?
Yeah, so Buff Corral is a guy who's been making YouTube videos for years now. And I've been a fan of his since I think my senior year of high school. I found him. And he's basically this guy that always wears jeans and no shirt. And he like goes on and does this crazy warm up and does covers of songs, like just popular songs. I think if I remember correctly, one of my favorites is a Tovlo song he does. And he goes on there and he sings them
Tovlo?
very poorly. Yes, yeah.
Habits?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, we'll give you a little
But he does it
example here.
really, really poorly and dances. So that's what I had to do when I broke my Jinx. You pulling it up here?
Yeah.
It's your boy Buff Corral. Send it to town, exit out the rounds. The rounds and the goops. The goops and the rounds. Anyways, we're gonna do without further ado, we're gonna do tough low habits.
God.
Low habits. Now, I never heard the tough low.
So this guy's just in his jeans, no shirt on, and he dances.
He's
like
buff.
crazy. Oh, he's buff too. And he has a picture of himself on the wall, his poster.
That's true.
I say eat grapes. That's the
So I'm
key
gonna-
word is grapes. Eat grapes. Have some oatmeal.
What's this? Oh, this is his like vocal warm up, right?
Yeah, this is him warming up.
Roasty.
Oh, that's wild.
Roasty to this. It's your boy Buff Corral. Tough low habits.
It's your boy Buff Corral.
How the body looking up a jet fry levels fry. Let's go for it.
All right, let's hear it. I've not heard habits,
Really?
but this will be great.
This is more vocal warm-ups. So when I did my personal video, I had to go do this whole process. I took off my shirt, I did the vocal warm-ups. Oh, here we go.
Oh, all right, there we go. I'm also looking up Zaps right now, so I can play his. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's basically it.
He's horrible.
He's
That's the
so
point. He's a
bad.
really terrible singer. I'm not going to say he's a bad dancer because I wouldn't consider it good, but it's really fast. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it's
But yeah, Zap and I both made Buff Corral videos, and mine has somehow been, I think, reported and deleted from Instagram, which I'm happy about because it was horrible. And I mean, it made me sad. So when I went on, they told me that I was doing a different song than I actually did. So once I started going and I realized that I was singing a completely different song, that was kind of the start of my troubles, but not even nearly the end.
Oh gosh.
You
That's
pulling up
fantastic.
zaps now?
Yeah. Trying to. All the meanwhile, we got to talk about Tunnel 13.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, pause on Tunnel 13. Here we go. Let's do Zap.
Sure.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Buff Zap. I'm back here with another video. You guys in the comment section really be liking the stuff that I'm doing, so I'm back with another rap.
Oh, he looks ridiculous.
So yeah, let me do some vocal warm-ups first, and then we'll hop right into this.
Is he wearing his
video.
headband? Yeah.
That's fantastic.
All right, here we go, guys.
I forgot the song.
Where love is fair, where boy meets girl.
All right, so I don't want to play that too much because I don't want to get flagged down from YouTube for a little Dean Martin or Chance the Rapper. So
Essentially, Zap is a beautiful singer and a great dancer, so he kind of ruined the whole Buff Corral feel. But whatever. We can talk about Tunnel 13 now. That's a whole thing.
Tunnel 13. Tunnel 13. The site of the last American train heist. So we were fancy footing around the cabin, trying to figure out what to do with our evening. And this beautifully kind lodge owner, I forget her name, but this woman, she was so nice to us. It's kind of like a family style lodge that we were staying in.
Oh, 100%.
I went up to her one day and I was like, hey, where can we go hiking that we can just walk to from here?
Because we didn't always have access to the team vans ourselves.
Right. So she said to me, well, you there's no real hiking trails around here, but I do got a good place for you though. So
You're doing really well in the voice.
I don't know if this seems more like a Midwestern, but here we go now. So there is my family has been here for quite a while now, okay? We've been here for generations. Back when the 49ers came, my family came, and we were deadpanning these mountains and valleys for gold. And if you take the road outside to the right, you hang a left out the door, then hang a right up the road, and just keep walking towards the mountain. When you see the mountain, well, there's mountains everywhere, but you'll see this mountain at the end of the road. You're just going to go up it, and you're going to go through these gates that say, come through these gates, and you're going to hang a left, and you're going to follow the railroad, and you find the railroad, you're going to find a tunnel, and that's the train tunnel. That's where the last great American train heist took place. Actually, my father was, my father, I don't know how old she was, I forget.
I want to say grandfather.
My grandfather was actually buddies with two of the guys that heisted the train, and basically they took a bunch of dynamite onto this train, and they they snuck on, and they got in the tunnel, and they blew up the train, and they tried to get in the mail car to find if there was anything worth stealing, but there wasn't, and they got caught using the world's first use of forensic
science.
Forensic science from a professor at California, Berkeley. And all that story was so cool. So
And they were caught, like some of them were months after. Like it wasn't immediately they found them. They used, like, I can't remember exactly what it was. Was it fingerprinting?
I'm not sure. I think it may have been.
It was like
fingerprinting.
new
the
technology
guns and,
that they were
doors and
trying
stuff.
out. Yeah.
But basically, you weren't supposed to walk through this tunnel
Because a train still runs through there.
It runs through there.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't find we could not find the train schedule anywhere. We were asking locals. We were looking online, calling numbers. Couldn't find a train schedule.
And we wanted to go on a hike, but I myself am a very superstitious guy in a lot of ways. And so the 13, not a big fan. People having died in the tunnel, not a big fan. The train could come anytime.
Not a big fan. So we hypothesized, and we thought, if we were to walk through this tunnel, just me, Baylor, and Zap, if we were to do that, at what points would we like lay down in the tracks? What points would we like go up against the wall? Like, how would we do this? You know, we obviously went over the mountain, but hypothetically, if we did go through the tunnel, this is a bit what it would be like. It would take about 13 minutes, which is super weird, tunnel 13, right?
Yes.
And when you get to the middle, it would be really dark.
You would not be able to see either side, likely.
Yeah, like both sides would look like if you were to outstretch your fingernail, I bet you would not be able to see your fingernail. I mean, like it wouldn't be any bigger than your fingernail.
Right. Yeah,
on the
I
other
mean,
side.
looking from the front, you could barely see the light at the other side. I mean, it was incredible. But I mean, the mountain wasn't very high, so it didn't really make a big issue over it, but I mean, it looked daunting, no doubt.
Yeah. And I bet in the middle it would be like huge and cavernous from where the dynamite blew out.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
And then when you get to the other side, when we climbed over the mountain, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
There were incredible sights.
It was like walking into Narnia.
Yeah, and actually coming over the mountain, you can come down on top of where the tunnel is. So we actually got like on top of like the tunnel where it's like a cement part surrounding the, where it comes through the inside of the mountain. And standing up there on that vantage point, you could see for so far of all of these beautiful mountains. I mean, just the lushest green trees. And I mean, it was incredible. It was beautiful. We got to see the sunset there that night.
We did.
So we were worried about that because we needed to make it back. We didn't want to see the sunset there that night. Right.
What a fantastic experience. Wow. No, I'm just like, I can't even talk right now. I'm speechless about it. That was so cool.
Yeah. We didn't even get as many pictures as we would have liked of it. Phone service was non-existent.
Dude, I didn't want to take my phone out of my pocket.
Yeah. Just wanted to take everything in as much as you could.
Yeah. I felt like a real life Goonie. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I used to love that movie.
Yeah.
You know that part where he's in the back of the van and the guy's trying to get like his hand in the blender?
Yeah.
I've always wondered how the blender is running. Is it an electric blender?
Was the blender in the van? I thought it was in the house.
Oh, you could be right. I don't know.
I think the blender was in the house, and then he was like sneaking out. And then
I
he got
used to
caught in
have
the van.
I used to have bad dreams about that when I was a kid.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Not about Chunk, though.
No.
Sloth loved. Oh, no, Chunk was the kid. So Sloth? Sloth was the guy's name, or was the Sloth's guy's name Chunk?
I can't remember.
Never
It's
mind.
been too
about it.
long.
Sloth loved Chunk. Such a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I've been doing movie nights in my dorm.
Ooh.
On Friday nights. That's a nice little relaxation. Last night I had Kyle, one of our freshman recruits, over.
Clark Dean Jr.
Yes. He looks just like Clark Dean. Rose, similarly. But yeah, we watched a little movie. We actually watched Wet Hot American Summer. And I mean, I was very confused. I had never seen that movie before. It was wild, but it was interesting.
Oh, was that like the spinoff of that older one?
I think it is the older one, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
It was released in 2001.
Oh, okay.
I know that because Sean is obsessed with that movie.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Anything else you thinking about talking about?
I don't have anything specifically. I don't know. I've enjoyed speaking with you.
Dude, I have had a blast.
This has been an awesome time. I was really worried coming into this. Never done anything like it before,
Yeah, no.
But I do really want this to be something that not that like it will shift the culture. I just want to explain the culture that we have because I love how it is now. I think that over the time that I've been here, things have changed and like the culture of our team is so important because the culture of any organization is so important to like how its members act and how people do things based on, like traditions and like symbols we have even, like things that we have to go off of, like that sign over the boathouse that's when all else fails, persistence prevails. It was like the veils thing. We used to be big into going to dad veils, but not these days. But I think it's really cool to be able to get something out there to these people, like alumni especially, or people interested in coming to the team so they can see what we have going on. And I myself like listening to podcasts. I don't know if you guys will enjoy listening to me rant on about things, but I think it's been really cool. I think it'll be a really good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming on. I've had a blast. I can't wait to have you on again in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to.
I also think it's maybe a cool thing. I mean, obviously, for anybody who listens to it, it's dipping their toes in. But I also think it would help some of the guys on the team dip their toes into how other guys think of the team.
Oh.
And like what they're grateful for about it and whatnot.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that'd be a good little section to do, like a grateful section, things we're grateful for on our team, or even traditions we have. I
Absolutely.
think that's really cool. You know, we'll learn as we go along, get better.
Yeah, and we're starting a few traditions right now. We had the captain dinner this year.
Oh, that was awesome. That was just a great time, getting the freshmen involved in everything.
That was cool.
Yeah, tell them about that.
So we had this event where everybody came together and we had pizza, thanks to the rat. And before the pizza got kicked off, we kind of introduced what the captain's dinner was all about, which was hopefully it'll be something again in the future, because we don't have a lot of stuff like that we do annually.
Yeah.
As of now. But I guess as of now, we have that running forward. So we all gathered together and we did all sorts of bits, and we got
Arm
everybody's
wrestling
names in
and
the hat.
Oh, man.
And we would pull out, and people would go up and arm wrestle. And Baylor had this one that was a 1-minute talent show.
That was a good little skit.
So explain how you did that.
Oh, well, actually, believe it or not, that was Zap's idea, our friend Zap that we referred to earlier. And so basically for the 1-minute talent show, my name got drawn out of a hat, so I was not prepared to do a talent show. But so I went up there and I had Zap, my lovely assistant, come up with me. And basically I was shouted out like, hey, everybody, I'm great at math. I can do like math expressions really fast in my head, like faster than he can do it on his calculator. And I'll have him confirm my answers and I'll write them on the board. And so I'd be like, all right, guys, like, give me some numbers and I'll multiply them. And I would just point at people in the crowd, any of the guys on the team, and have them give me numbers. And then, like, the first time I just wrote, like, 2R on the board as the answer, and everyone cheered and yelled. And I was like, yeah, I got it right. And Zap was like, no, you didn't. And then I did a couple more. And on the last one, I was like, I just wrote go FIT. And then I was like, ah. And everybody was yelling and stuff. It was good. I think I got a good bit of applause from that. But Clay beat me out with his beautiful voice, so.
You were singing Chinese.
Yeah, that was surprising and delightful. So
Yeah, dude, go Clay. That was fantastic.
yeah, that was brave. I would not have been able to sing up there. But well, for one, I'm a terrible singer, so that holds me back a bit.
Yeah, not really. We're actually scheduled to have you sing.
Oh, now,
in 1 minute.
now, okay, yeah, I'll sing Happy Birthday.
No, like something with meat.
Hmm.
You have a good country song?
Sweet Caroline. Oh, okay, country song. I could do Smoky Mountain Rain. You know that song, Ronnie Millsap? You know Ronnie Millsap? Have you heard of him?
No.
He's like used to be a really famous country singer. I don't know if he's dead or alive now, but he's really old essentially. And he grew up where my grandpa grew up, and my great grandmother babysat him and was like his nanny. And so he was like really good friends with my grandpa, and they were like best friends through high school. And he like took off with his music career and like became like actually famous and like left Robbinsville and stuff. My grandpa is just like a good old humble boy still, but it's really cool actually. It was pretty interesting.
Wowzers.
Yeah, and I didn't know that until last year, and I'd been a fan of Ronnie Millsap, so.
All right, instead of having you sing, I want to delve a bit into your major and what you anticipate with that in the future.
Okay, yeah. So I'm doing business with a focus in marketing, and I just switched over to that halfway through my sophomore year, actually. And so when I switched into it, I basically just assumed it'd be something where I have more opportunity than what I was doing before, which was biomedical engineering, believe it or not. And with biomedical engineering, I thought coming into college that I would really like my classes because I had done an engineering program in my high school, but with the classes here, I just really wasn't enjoying myself. I was having a hard time and struggling, honestly, with some of them, especially the math courses. And I really thought that I'd like the science side, but I didn't as much as I expected to. So switching over to business was something that I thought I'd have more options, and I thought that kind of my personality and how I am, I'm more marketable in this major field. And so kind of going off of that, over this summer, I actually got the chance to get to know my cousin's newlywed husband, Cole Forrester. And so he told me that he thought I'd be really good for joining him in an internship at Northwestern Mutual. And so he told me about the internship, and it's basically I'm doing readings now and getting licensed to sell insurance, and that's just probably what I'm doing next summer. It's a prospective internship, and I think it'll be a really good experience for me, and I'll be living in Atlanta, something completely new to me, completely different, which I'm really open to. I like the idea of change, and I think it's really good to accept change and learn how to deal with that. And so I'm going to be living there and working, selling insurance, selling myself, essentially, selling my product, selling people to like me. And I think that just going out to talking to people and making connections and things, that's something I've always just naturally been good at. So that's what I want to go into. And not necessarily, I don't know if it's selling insurance. Doing that next summer is just a good opportunity to learn. But I do think that marketing is going to be somewhere where I can prosper with how I am.
I fully agree.
Yeah.
I fully support you in that.
Yeah.
I'm in your corner. And yeah, dude, I was always curious about you going into biomed. Like this guy, he's got a personality. Not that people with personalities wouldn't do good in biomed. I mean, whatever you choose to do, fantastic, and it's mostly about you and your family and whatnot. But
yeah,
dude, I didn't imagine much talking and expression.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a little announcement. The library will close in 30 minutes. All right.
We're hanging out late.
We're hanging out late.
Yeah, no, but I agree with you. And at the time, I did not realize that at all. But my dad was actually the first person to say to me, he was like, I really don't think this is for you. He was like, I've always thought that you should be in something where you can, make connections with people and talk to people and be hands-on with what I'm doing. In respect to I'm directly helping these people. I can do this for you sort of thing,
Right. You're the frontline man.
Exactly. And something I really like about, I've never thought about selling insurance before this summer. But something I really like about it is their huge thing is just be honest with people. You're going to be helping these people more than you're helping yourself in this career. And I really, really like that. So I'm super excited about it. And I definitely think it's somewhere where I can use my abilities in a better way. Definitely.
Fantastic.
And they told me when I was there interviewing, they were like, I think it's all really awesome you're a rower because the people who do best in this career are athletes who do cardio or distance things, endurance sports. Yeah. And I was like, well, why is that? And they're like, you just repeat the same thing over and over and over again, and you never stop. And you just have that endurance, mental endurance more than anything. You build that mental toughness that that if you do this, you will get to this place. If I do all these steady state pieces, I'll do better on my 6K. And it's the same thing. On this job, I'm going to be calling people, and maybe I won't be good at it at first, but if I keep calling people, I'm going to get better. I'm going to make money off of it, so it's a really cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to wrap things up, I
hate to go. Yeah. Such sweet sorrow.
Hate to go. I wish we could just keep doing this. I feel like people's attention spans are falling off.
Oh, definitely.
Those who have stuck around. But we have to go meet our girlies for dinner.
That's true. I'm excited about that. Zap's joining us too. Yep.
We're
going to go have some nice dinner over at Squid Lips. So.
It's going to be a good time.
Yep.
Well, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you can continue to support this avenue for the culture of Florida Tech men's rowing.
100%. Thank you so much for having me on. I really have had an awesome time talking with you, and this is a lot of fun. Absolutely. And we even got to know a little more about each other. I thought I knew everything about you, but, we're always picking up new things. Yeah, I know. This was a really awesome thing. Right. I really hope it takes off for you. This is really cool.
For us.
Yep.
For those ahead, for those behind. Dude, Florida Tech men's crew has been around for 52 years now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
God willing, it stays around 52 more.
Yeah. I love it here. Love the program. Love the culture. Let's keep it going.
Right on. All right. I am your host, once again, Christian Dawson. Welcome to the Redline Experience. We got more content coming your way. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Florida Tech Redliners. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's a hashtag.
Redliner Experience.
At Redliner Experience. And we also have a Facebook page, Redliner Experience. You can email me at redlinerexperience@gmail.com. And that's all, folks.
Peace out.
Peace.